Welcome to TaskForceAdmiral. It's a Microprose game. It's a demo, and it's about the carrier battles in the Coral Sea in 1942 between the United States Navy and the Imperial Japanese Navy. So we're playing the US side, and we're on Yorktown, which is the flagship carrier for our Task Force 17, and we are Admiral Jack Fletcher, the Admiral in command of the whole task force. Right now it's 8:15 a.m. in the morning, and the air operation started at 6 a.m. so it's been just over 2 hours, and in fact we're already winning the battle. So let's take a look at our strike groups that are on their way to the Japanese task force. Let's see. We sent in one strike group, got chewed up pretty badly, but did some serious damage to one of their carriers. So now we have two more strike groups going in. It's nav strike 15 and 14. Let's check nav strike 15. This one has 15 SBD Dauntlesses. It's only SBD Dauntlesses, these dive bombers that can fly far enough to reach the Japanese carriers. Looks like they haven't. They are in visual range, I know, but they haven't started their dive yet. So here's the situation here. This is the nav group 15 strike group. This is the Japanese carrier task force right there, two carriers. So what happened in the early morning that evolved into this situation was that we sent out 3 destroyer radar picket screens as a radar picket in front of us. This is us, our task force 17, with Yorktown and Lexington, the two carriers, and we sent out 3 destroyers towards the north and east as a radar screen. And in the morning, the Japanese search planes came down and they found one of our destroyers, the Farragut, and they then sent in like 3 waves of attack planes, dive bombers, torpedo bombers, just sank our destroyer DD Farragut within about an hour, but that allowed us to pinpoint their location. And just from their search planes, we were able to launch our search planes and then keep track of their task force, which is turned out to be 120 miles away from us. So what we can only do is we can send out strike packages that are made up of only the SBD Dauntless dive bombers, because these are the planes that can reach that far. So our strike groups had no fighter escorts at all, which probably wouldn't have made much of a difference because our fighters just have been pretty lackluster, the performance. Our cap groups did try to engage the strike groups that were attacking our destroyer, but they didn't shoot down anything as far as I could tell, and they were all shot down actually by the Japanese escorts. So the Wildcats were kind of useless. But when our first strike group from Lexington, 15 planes, reached their task force, about 2/3 of them were shot down, the Dauntless dive bombers, but they did do some dives, and they did manage to hit, I think landed a couple of direct bomb hits on one of their carriers. And that group is on its way back now. I think this is actually our strike group right here that's coming back home. So now our 2 more dauntlesses are going in. Now the front one from Lexington, the front strike group from Lexington, so far it hasn't encountered any zeros. And I think probably because all of their fighters were spent their fuel or their ammunition. They had to go back and refuel. So there's no fighter cover above their carriers. You can see already one of their carriers actually. Let's see if we can get a closer view. Riding on the wing. Yep, there's one carrier and that's the other carrier. Yeah, both carriers are here. We found them. Alright, so let's dive on them. And we have no fighter opposition here, which is great. But that's certainly a welcome change from the first strike when we were just chewed up by those fighters. We do have some flags coming up, but no fighters. Yep. Looks like we're gonna dive through the clouds and go at them. Good luck, Lexington boys. And hope you don't get shut down. Not too many of them get shut down. Ah, okay, so they're right underneath this patch of clouds, which probably would make it a little bit interesting to try to dive on them. Ah, you can see that one. So we might be going for the further one. Are we? Or are we going for this one? I don't know. Yeah, I think we're going for this one right here. The one is to the north. Doesn't look like it's very well lined up though. Well, let's see how many hits we're gonna land. Well, there comes the AA, small caliber AA fire. This looks promising. 3 bombs released. Alright, 2 direct hits. 3 direct hits. Wow, good job. 3 direct hits on this carrier from the Lexington group, and nobody's shut down. Looks like we already have won a strategic victory here. But there's still a lot of flak coming up. A lot of flak, but it doesn't look like we lost anybody in this group. That is certainly much better outcome than the first poor group from Lexington that was just really shredded by the zeros. And let's see, we got 29 dive bombers coming in from Yorktown. See how these guys do. These boys are right behind. I'm hoping they're gonna attack the other carrier and not just all focus on this one. Well, let's see. Alright, so this is one of the massive dive bombers. Look at the number. There's a whole big clump of dive bombers coming in from Yorktown. Which one are you guys going for? Yeah, so that one that's not bombed this time is throwing up a lot of flak. But looks like we're going for the first one again. The one to the east. I mean the one to the north. Which was just hit. I'm not sure why they just ignored this other, good looking target, but always go for the one in the front. Yeah, looks like we're going for that one again. I guess it's not a lucky day for this carrier today. Right, let's lock out to the carrier. see how many bomb hits it's gonna take again in the second week. But it looks of it, it's got planes on deck too. Interesting. Let's see now. Guy's gonna dive on this one. Looks like the mid deck and the aft deck of its carrier are on. Yeah, we're diving on this one. Boy, 29 dive bombers going down together. It's a big party of bombs that's gonna happen soon. I hate to be on this carrier right now. Okay, there's some spurious fire coming up. Another direct hit, near miss, bunch of near misses, whole lot of near misses. Another direct hit on the port side, looks like. Lots of near misses. Another direct hit. Okay, so it's scored 2 more direct hits from the 29. And there's some really far off shots, bomb hits also. Yeah, this carrier looks pretty much toast at this point. Does not look good. The interesting thing is the planes, they're still moving. It's like, are they going, trying to get down to the hangars or something? No, it can't move. Yeah, that plane is moving up and down the fore deck. It's interesting. Okay. Good deal, good deal. Alright, so again, doesn't look like anybody's shut down. No zeros. I think all of the zeros are just below or parked on there. Alright, so I think we are going home, the strikers, RTB. How's our fleet doing? Yorktown, all nice and untouched. And it's launching caps basically right now. There's some cap rotations going on. I think Lexington the same way. Yep. So at this point we can actually finish the game because it's counted as a success, I believe. So let's go to debriefing. It's the cutscene newsreel, which is, I guess, the winning newsreel, and it's really well done as far as cutscenes go for games. Yeah, it just reminds me of the old
Victory
Microprose
in the Coral Sea!
games.
American and Allied forces, led by the U.S. Navy aircraft carriers, have inflicted a decisive defeat on the Japanese fleet threatening the Australian outpost of Port Moresby. It is the beginning of the end, all thanks to the courageous seamen and flyers of Task Force 17, led by Admiral Fletcher. Next stop, Rabaul.
Terrific. So it looks like we won. What did we do? We damaged the 2 carriers by equal amount. So these are their big fleet carriers, Zuikaku and Shokaku. We destroyed 6 zeros. Wonder how we did that. And 2 of their torpedo bombers, I think, and one of the this looks like a float plane or search plane or something. We lost a destroyer. We lost 6 Wildcats and 11 SPDs. So yeah, that's probably all from the first strike. The one that got chewed up by the zeros. Alright, great. Okay, so this game is about to be released in early release, and this is a second incarnation of Microprose, I guess the revived Microprose. They published a bunch of games. since they got revived. But to me, this is the one that really, I think it's going to restore their former glory, because it really has the atmosphere of those older Microprose games, and it really captures that feeling of those black and white documentaries of the naval battles in the Pacific in World War II, like Victories at Sea, those documentaries. It really captures that feeling really, really well. And just reminds me of the old Microprose, classics like B-17, Flying Fortress, especially the second version of that, and Aces of the Pacific and games like that. So I'm really happy that this new Microprose is finally, I think, living up to the name of Microprose.